Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Enthusiast Experiment Pencil Edition, and specifically the Jet Pens Pencil Sampler Edition. So, not going to use the pencil box for this until we're through them, so we'll use the little packaging that it came in. The first one we're going to take a look at is... Oh well. There you go. The Staedtler Wopex NHB. This is the erasered version. Here they also have this without an eraser. Made in Germany. A little bit better look. No packaging, so we'll just set this aside and get out the book. So, let's get into it. So this is the Staedtler Wopex. It is an Eco Pencil NHB. The lead is, again, just graphite HB, and according to Staedtler, it writes 2 times longer than the Norica, which is like one of their most popular pencils. Obviously, I can't verify that, but I will say that the point retention was pretty good. The wood, it says it's an extruded pencil that still uses 70% wood from PEFC certified forests, but you can see here it is very interesting looking. Definitely a plasticky-ness to it. Don't mind those right there. That's actually from sharpening with the Carl Angel 5, the classroom friendly. So it does work, but it'll eat up your pencil. And I didn't really auto stop. I pulled it out. So just something to be aware of. But we'll get into that in a second here. So the body is hexagonal, and it has a light green body with silver and black text. As you can see here, this side with the barcode is black. And then we have the shiny silver stamping here. Cool. The ferrule is silver and the eraser is white, and they say it's latex and PVC free, which is, pretty normal. I do like that again, that kind of like soup can ferrule is pretty cool. And it's interesting that they only stamped it on the eraser side to hold the eraser in, so I'm curious. I guess they just use this ribbing to clamp it to the pencil, but that's a pretty clean way to be attached. And you can see, it's like literally perfect. There's none of the actual pencil, or I would say paint, but in this case I think it's that like wrapper stuff that they wrap this with is not like popping out. So it's a really nice clean attach. The price is $6.25 for an 18 pack, but if you look around you can find these a lot cheaper than that. I was just in an art store where I think it was like I think it was under $2. I want to say it was like $1.50 for an 18 pack or something. It was ridiculously cheap. There's a ton of them. So I think if you look around, you can find them for pretty inexpensive because they're that kind of like, lack of a better term, like a funky-ish pencil. So maybe some people might be turned off by them. And then again, made in Germany. Erase test, you can see here. Just laid down a little graphite and then erased with the onboard eraser. Smudge test, and again, just wrote test and smudged. And then the shade test. So some of the pros that I noticed is I really like that this is an eco pencil. That's always kind of a fun thing, seeing companies try different things to try and be better for the environment, or just, shake things up a little bit. So I think that's cool. The price, even at this price, is still pretty good for the amount of pencil that you're getting, and especially since the point retention or like the length of time that you're able to write with it. It's almost like you're getting a little bit even more of an extended value with that. I like the weight, so this is a little bit heavier than like a normal, quote-unquote normal pencil, due to that extruded material that they use. So it has a nice, interesting heft to it. The smudge test, it freaking aced that. It almost like nothing happened. So if you're a left-hander, or if you're like me and you're a right-hander who still smudges, this is a cool pencil to use, so you don't have to worry about that as much. The erasability, again, it did pretty good for the onboard eraser, and I think that's probably due to more of like a lighter end HB being the graphite. And it's also pretty smooth for being so light. So for the graphite laying down such a light line, sometimes that leads to like a scratchier lead, but this is still decently smooth. Did a pretty good job, so that was cool. Some of the negatives, again, a lot of text, especially on this side here. This is okay. This is nice and clean. Looks good. And then this side, there's quite a bit of text, and also that barcode being so far up. You guys know, not a huge fan of barcodes, but if they are to be used, I really prefer them down here, so that way you can sharpen through them pretty quickly. The design, it's kind of, hit or miss for me. I'm not particularly fond of this green color, but again, personal preference. I really do. I like the eraser and I like the ferrule a lot. I mean, I like everything else about the pencil. It would just be cooler if it was a little bit different, because Staedtler makes some really pretty pencils. So, but there are, I guess, other versions of this that you can buy that are a bunch of different colors and all that kind of stuff. I just don't have that here. So just talking about this particular pencil. Also, kind of a con is that it's a little bit harder to sharpen than a normal pencil. You know, just being able to throw it in one of my desktop sharpeners is kind of a pain. It does work, but again, you can see it kind of chews it up a little bit, and then you also have to check it. It doesn't auto stop. So I wish they could have solved that somehow with the formula, just so that way it could really be a one-to-one with a normal wooden pencil. Makes it just a little bit easier to incorporate into your rotation. And the lack of tonal variety in the shade test. So again, you guys can probably do a better job at this than I can. This is just my poor attempt, but the shade test, you can see it has a little bit of tonal variety, but it's definitely not like we've seen in some of the other pencils. It doesn't get nearly as dark or surprisingly nearly as light. It's kind of just that medium range. But again, you know, I'm not an artist or anything like that. I don't claim to be. I'm more of a doodler, but that would be my only complaint. And again, it may be light for some. So like that, those of you that like a darker HB or darker lead, this may not be the pencil for you. But again, remember, you're getting that good point retention, so you can write a little bit longer, less smudging, good erasing, and then also it's still not scratchy for being on the lighter side. So pretty cool. Let's get this out of the way and we'll write it in the book here. Didn't expect this to be one of the longer ones. I thought this would be one of the shorter ones, but looks like I got a lot to say. All right, so sitting next to that, the Uni Star is definitely lighter, but I mean, you can still see even, it's pretty close to the Staedtler White. And then a few of the other pencils there. Sorry, that's a little bit hard to see. Maybe if we do it this way. It's getting hard to fit everything on one page, but there you go. That's been a quick look. I appreciate you guys stopping by. That's the first of a mini for this jet pen sampler, so I appreciate you checking it out with me. Hopefully, I just noticed, and doing to some of the comments, a few of you went to go try and grab them, but they're out of stock, so that's kind of a bummer that happened right around the time we were trying to do this. But hopefully, they'll get them in stock soon, and you guys can join along, and then let me know what you guys think. Thanks for swinging by. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can grow the channel together, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.